Hey! This is the F1 Show podcast. I'm the host for the most.
That's a new noise.
What?
That's a new noise. New sound effect. Have you been working on that?
I've been planning that all week. That's why I wanted to do it early this week. I'm the host for the most, Wayne, and you are the man, and he is. I do it every time. He is the man in the pits with the tits. Brendan, hey, how are you, mate?
Hey, hello.
How did we enjoy that race? We go to good race, bad race. You got the results up already?
Yeah, I got them there. Yep, I got them there.
I thought we'd do the podcast earlier this week, so we can actually remember what happened.
Yeah, I didn't have.
In our old age, we do trying to forget, don't we?
Dotage.
What?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. Okay. Let's go to a good race. Bad race.
Steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to me. Come on, move.
Hey!
Yay.
Okay.
Wow. Where do you start?
Where do we start? First of all, let's get out of the way. The sprint race was boring.
Yeah, it was.
It was
Came
dull.
home early from the pub to watch that.
Did you? For the sprint race?
Yeah.
That was quite late as well.
We were coming home early.
I bet you were quite basted. Were you basted? Were you a bit well oiled there?
No, I'd been out to a cheese and wine specialist bar.
That doesn't make it any
Quite
less.
interesting. No, but there was we'd had quite a selection of drinks, quite a and it kind of
Cheese and wine. I always find is an excuse to drink lots of wine. It's like put some. What cheese did you have? Can you remember? Were they all just cheddar?
No, there was some Swiss, a soft cow cheese. There was a smoky one, and there was a blue one from Cornwall.
Oh, well done.
Yeah.
3 types of cheese.
Nice.
3 cheeses.
Three different types of meats selection. Bit of a smorgasbord it was. It was lovely.
That sounds great. I wish I was there. I wish I was there now. Oh, Jesus.
Local chain. Pop down, we'll visit.
Oh, we'll do.
They
Yeah.
taste different types of wine, so you can be as poncy as you want. You taste the different wines with the different cheeses.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Did they provide a spit bucket?
No.
It's not going in there.
That's only good
for
driving,
drinking.
mate.
It's for drinking, isn't it?
Yeah. So that after that kind of lounging around on the sofa watching the cars go round and round was quite good fun. But it wasn't a great race. It wasn't a great sprint, I don't think.
No, I didn't find it that. No, not like the previous sprint last week or the week before, whenever it was, 7 years ago. Slept, but that was a good one. But this one,
What's your opinion on the sprints overall? Has it been a good addition or is it a waste of time?
it's confusing. I mean, I liked when they get a good one, you get a good one, and it's like, oh well, I quite liked that. Quite enjoyed that little mini race there. It got a bit exciting. But if certain tracks it doesn't suit, you've got to pick the right track for a sprint. You couldn't do a sprint at Monaco. It would just be, you've got to have the right tracks.
I know we'll discuss it at length, but the disqualifications, it was a big part of that.
The wear on the plank.
Yeah, and because it was they only had one free practice run because they had the sprint race. They couldn't set the cars up properly, or they couldn't test them in different ride outs.
Right.
So.
Well, we'll get to that. Let's get over it. Let's get the race over with. Quite literally. Let's go. Let's do it. I thought the race was okay. It was better.
Yeah.
Than the sprint.
Yeah, it was good.
Because you could see that something would happen at the end. It was interesting. Let's get the right. Who was last? Not Logan Sargent this time, eh? Blimey.
No, it wasn't. But can we before we get to the start? Right. Obviously, there was 4 drivers that started from the pit lane. due to breach of parc fermé conditions. So they had to work on the engines over the weekend, right? It's a normal part of racing. It's not happened as much as I thought this would this season. There's not been grid penalties because of it, so the reliability is obviously improved. But it's something that's part of the racing, right? So the 4 drivers were the 2 Haas drivers and the 2 Aston Martin drivers. Did you notice what Lance Stroll did?
No, go on. What did he do?
So they did the warm-up lap.
Yeah.
Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Alonso went into the pit lane, and Stroll went onto the grid. He went to line up.
I didn't realise that. Wow.
The mechanics had to come out, put him on a trolley, push him back down the home straight, back in the pit lane to where he was starting from.
Are they allowed to do that?
What? Yeah.
So
well,
he lined up on the grid for the race. For the race, he lined up on the grid for the race. Even though he knew
he didn't line up on the grid. If you're going to be pedantic about it, he drove to the back of the grid, and then they realised his mistake. So he wasn't on the grid. So I think he was still.
That made it easier for him to
formation lap.
So I suppose if he was like somewhere in the middle of the pack, even though he must have known.
Yeah,
that he wasn't there.
I mean, he was a couple of 100 yards down that home straight before the.
Did he get any kind of penalty for that?
No, but it got referred to the stewards, and it wasn't clarified until after the race whether or not he'd be penalised.
Was it just a genuine mistake by him? He just thought you were sighting the back, and that was it. We're just not concentrating. He's not really concentrating a lot this year. I thought he had a slightly.
And that's the point. Yeah, he did, and we'll get to that in a minute. But at the start of the race, you kind of want to know where you're starting from, don't you?
Especially if you're meant to be in the pits.
Yeah, Nico Hulkenberg last week, we can excuse him going into the empty spot in front of him
because it wasn't empty when he pulled away.
You're wired up to line up behind the car in front of you. You're not, so you can forgive that. But when you've got a pit lane start, you change your strategy. Just it at length. It's not a surprise.
There's no. Hang on, I meant to be at the back of the grid.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So speaking of the back, Esteban Ocon, out after 6 laps, which got
a little bit of a whack from our friend Piastri, didn't he?
Yeah, Piastri and Ocon came together in the first lap, and they put, I think Piastri's back wheel put a hole in Ocon's sidings. I think they both damaged their side pods. There was cooling issues. There was a water leak on Piastri. He managed a couple of laps more. He was out on the 10th lap. So racing incident. It was a shame. Shame for Ocon. He's missed a few. Missed a few races this week.
Especially as the Alpine seems to have been leapfrogging the Aston. Yeah, it took me a while to get that out. Sorry, yeah, it feels like they're pretty much on the same level now.
Yeah, they're definitely fighting each other, those two, I would say.
Yeah.
But I felt sorry for Oscar Piastri not being able to kind of capitalise on his good week last week, and he did all right in the sprint, and so that was a shame because McLaren definitely have made massive improvements on the car.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Still not quite there. Yeah.
Unlike Aston, and
what is going on with Aston? Is it just
so Fernando was the only other driver not to finish?
And he was doing well.
Yeah,
he was.
And this is related to the floor again, and the wear on the floor. There's a lot. The Verstappen and Hamilton both said before the disqualification was announced that the track surface is too bumpy. Right. It's not of a Formula One quality. There's too many undulations, and that's what broke Fernando's floor.
Wow!
It damaged it. Yeah, so that's quite a lot of damage.
Are we talking about resurfacing the track here? Is that what they're going to look at?
Yeah, that's what they need to do. Some of it's been done. I think from turn 14 through to the home straight.
Turn 14.
Turn 14, yeah. Right to the home straight.
Okay. So, that's the DNFs.
That's all the non-finishers. Yeah.
And who's next? Ricardo. Was it Ricardo last?
Danny Rick, yeah.
It seemed like he was holding on to Sonoda quite, not physically. That would be weird. But I mean, he seemed like he was running with. I don't know whether it's a strategy thing. He had a bad strategy. I don't know. Was he slung on the softs at the end? He was.
He put in the fastest lap at one point.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so I don't think there's a pacing issue with him, and him and Sonoda were line astern for quite a lot of the race. I think something happened in the pit stops.
Yeah, he admitted he was a bit race rusty, was his words. That there was little mistakes that took a tenth off here and there that shouldn't have, that put him further down the pecking order than he was expecting to be. But wow. As it did
you catch some of Yuki's radio messages?
Yeah, he wasn't happy again, was he?
I don't know I can't remember what it was about, but he was just losing the plot. Just oh, glad he's next year. He's like a little feisty man. He is.
I think Danny will get it back. You know, he was. You've got
a lot of hope in Danny Ricciardo. I don't think I have that much hope.
No,
I don't know. Go on.
I don't think he would do better than Perez in the second Red Bull seat.
No, I don't think so. No. He saying he's a bit race rusty. He's had a lot of this season out. Well, half of it we wasn't there at all.
I think he only did 3 races, and then he crashed. He was out for 5.
It's ridiculous. And then how many have we got left? 4. He's going to be. What? How long is he going to cling on to that rusty notion next year? I mean,
no. He'll have targets to, but I think he'll be in the seat next year. I think
seat next year, but I don't know. I think Lawson might have been a better choice.
There's big changes at AlphaTauri, remember, next year. So France tossed the team principals out. Right. And they've not announced a new one yet. They've not announced a new branding. They're getting they have announced that they're going to be going back to being more of a sister team. So they're getting the Red Bull tech. They'll have this year's Red Bull car, basically.
Wow.
Within the rules. Yeah. So it's going to be. It'll be interesting to see how they perform next year.
Yeah, it will be. See how Yuki getting up there at the front more. So so Danny Rick was last. So who was next? Who have we got next?
Danny Rick was 15th. So we had 3 DNFs, which is 18, and then the 2 disqualified is the 20. So that's why we're at 15 with Danny Rick. 14th was Kevin Magnussen Haas.
They're just totally also rans, aren't they now? It even feels like Williams have got the jump on them now.
So
one of the Williams.
11, Nico Hulkenberg was 11th. 12th and 13th was the 2 Alfa Romeos, Bottas and Zhou. And then 14th was Magnussen. So that's where you'd expect those 2 teams to be together. But they Haas made a big song and dance about bringing out a load of upgrades for Austin, and they fell flat. They've not done anything. They've not changed it. They're exactly where they were. They were in with who they were in with last week. You know, they're in fighting with the Alphas.
I don't understand. So, does the computer tell them it's going to give you like half a second? It's going to give you half a second, and they bolt it on, and it just doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh man, that must be so.
What they were aiming for was they were trying to reduce the tire degradation.
Right.
So they were trying to get more balanced downforce. They were trying to get better airflow over the tires, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem to work.
They
were still good on quali.
Yeah.
But they weren't any good on the race day.
Did
so
the not AlphaTauri, the other one. What is it?
Alfa Romeo.
Did that have any upgrades this time? Doesn't seem like it. It seemed like they kind of hang around in the top 8 sometimes, and then they're gone. Something happens. I don't know whether they just have incredibly slow pit stops or their tyre deg, but they just dropped right back down, didn't they?
Oh, we'll get to the pit stops in a bit, but
Yeah, we
Alpha,
will.
remember, they're another team in flux. They've got Alpha are going to be, they're dropping the name sponsors, so they're going to be Sauber next year.
Right.
And then Audi, there's a lot of chatter about Audi pulling out. So they are, again, another team in flux. They've got Andrea, the old McLaren principal, not Andrea Seidel. Who's the other one? Andrea Stella.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've no. You're the one that knows. Ron Dennis. Yeah, give me that. Yeah. But anyone since Ron Dennis from McLaren, forget it. Don't ask me who's in charge of any of these teams.
My point is that Alfa Romeo are
in the
a team in
pits.
flux at the moment.
Yeah.
They're a team in flux at the moment. They're not knowing what direction they're going in. So I would be very surprised if they've got any other upgrades coming, or if they're looking 2 years down the line. To be honest,
Must be so frustrating for drivers like Bottas. Yeah. He hasn't got 2 years left in his. Oh, how long's his contract?
2 years. But that's Audi have said that they wanted to keep him. But that's if Audi stay in. What happens now? Who knows what's actually happening? You've got to hope that they do, and they've got a bit of stability. Especially Bottas, he's going to start getting affected by that. He seems a lot happier now. He's got a multi-year deal, rather than his rolling 1 year contract at Mercedes. So they've got to treat him carefully, or he'll go. He's got other things going on.
Has
I
he?
can see him. Yeah, he. Have you not seen any of his bike activity?
No.
His girlfriend is a professional cyclist, and he's been off doing mountain bike races. He came second in some professional bike competition, mountain bike competition. He was off.
This is his. Is this his girlfriend? He was married, wasn't he? Was he?
Tiffany Cromwell, her name is.
I'm sure he was married, and now this is a new girlfriend, new haircut.
Yeah, I
new
think
interests.
She might even be pregnant. I think they made an announcement recently.
Wow. You can tell when a man's got a new girlfriend. Hairstyle different.
Yeah.
More laid back attitude because. Yeah, you could tell. Anyway. So Bottas and Joe Guan Yu, line astern, yeah? That's pretty much how it went. Where are we? Back to here. Yeah, and then Nico Hülkenberg. There was some good fights in there. Every now and then, Danny Rick had a couple of good fights with people, which is good to see. Yeah.
I think when the commentators mention you're getting some, you're doing some fighting, and I didn't hear Joe or Bottas getting talked about much.
Any coverage, do they? Unless they're being lapped, and they become like, someone's catching someone else. I hope they don't get in the way. Yeah. Unless that's happening, they get no coverage on the telly.
But the fact that Danny Rick throws in the fastest lap, and he held that for quite a while. That's.
But he was on the softs, though, wasn't he? Come on, he was on the softs right at the end. And
who was 49th lap? He did it.
Who got the fastest lap?
Yuki got it.
So that
was obviously an Alpha.
Was he on softs?
Yeah, he was. I think he came in at the end.
But they all slap on softs at the end, thinking where we need him. Go on. Where did Yuki finish?
He only need to last a lap. Well, Yuki was 8th after the adjustments. So that's a pretty decent.
He's earned that.
That would have been 10th. He'd have got a point. And as we know, he's always just in 10th or 11th, isn't he? He's been that whole season.
I do like him.
So that's consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing all right, Yuki, in that car.
He is doing all right.
Yeah. So
I just think it's because he's shorter, it's less downforce. Isn't it?
Let's drag the helmet.
Let's drag on the helmet.
Less weight in the car.
Less weight, yeah. It's less of everything. Go on.
So then we had 9th and 10th was Albon and Sargent, the Williams line astern.
Well, what about Sargent? He needed that.
Yeah, he was only hang on. He was about a second and a half behind Albon. So that's pretty good. You know, he had incident free and he kept up with his teammate. That's what you've got to ask for, isn't it? If you're
Behind
in the same car,
if you're not number one, you want to be behind him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closely.
Yeah.
You don't want to be these days.
Yeah, you don't want to be 2 laps down behind him. You want to be closely behind him. Because technically, you'd be last and you'd be behind him.
Even though he got points because of the disqualifications, he's got to still take solace from that.
Yeah.
Take a bit of confidence from it.
He's getting but I still don't think he's going to be in the car next year. Oh, crikey, what was that?
No, I would doubt it as well.
Sorry to all the podcast listeners who just heard that. Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Mike, is that us done? We finished then?
No. So who else? What was that? After our in the top 10, which is
after Tsunoda, then we had Stroll in 7th place. Which was
Alonso when he went out. It was quite early. Was it quite early when Alonso was out?
Alonso 49 laps out of 56, so he's quite a ways down the line.
And where was he? What position? He was in the points, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And he was ahead of Stroll. That's what I think the point I was making. Or did it at some point? Or am I thinking of someone else that had to let each other by? I don't know. Yeah, he was. The point is, I'm making Alonso was still ahead of Stroll, but he seems to be having better weekends. Ish.
Who's Stroll?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing. But he's still. His interviews still weren't up to scratch. He was still distant. He was very offhand with people.
Was he? Didn't get that vibe. Yeah, okay.
No, you didn't. You didn't think that?
I didn't think that. I thought he was better this time. But yeah,
there was quite a sweet moment in the background where, in the press pit, where he was waiting, standing behind somebody waiting to get interviewed, and Kevin Magnussen walked in with his daughter, who's quite a regular in the pits at the moment. And he was walking in with her, and this was all behind. I can't remember what driver it was. It might have been Lewis Hamilton or somebody. But in the background, Lance was playing with Magnussen's daughter, which was really quite sweet to see. It was a different side to him. He just spontaneously went over and he gave her a high five, and he was dancing with her a little bit, and it was just quite nice to see it in the background. Relaxed. So
what you get is you don't get to see who these people are. Like apart from like our little friend Tsunoda or someone like that, but they're so like, even if we criticise Stroll for last time not giving an interview, that was a genuine emotion. He was being honest. So obviously slapping your personal trainer about is not a good idea. But if you're being honest on the microphone, that's better than just going, like we've talked about before, the corporate kind of answer. I don't even understand why is there someone there recording it? It's on telly. It's being recorded, and there's someone there with a phone under their noses recording it.
Yeah, but it's not everything's recorded, is it? Not everything's broadcast. Sorry.
Well, if it's not broadcast, they shouldn't be worrying about it, should they?
Well, you still got to control your product. I would say that's. I would agree with that policy to record it.
Control your product. What world are we living in?
Well, that's what they're doing, mate. Whether you agree with it or not.
I don't agree with it.
That's what they're doing.
I know that's what they're doing, but it's just a terminology, isn't it? What does it?
Well,
the camera goes off.
Run 5 years on the flagpole.
He's a wanker. Do they think that's what's going to happen? I don't know. It seems odd. This whole I'm going to stand next to you with my phone, recording everything you say, even though it's being recorded here and it's going to be on YouTube. I'm going to record it as well. It's just weird.
But they don't own it. Unless they record it, they don't own it.
What?
So if you're talking to Sky TV,
right,
and they say something that's genuinely earth-shattering, and it becomes a soundbite. If you've not recorded it, then Sky TV own the rights to that, and every time it's played, they get the credit for it.
I presume
If you've
Sky
recorded
TV
it-
owns the rights to it anyway.
Yeah, but you also own it as well. So you can use it yourself because you've recorded it. They can use it for whatever purposes they want without having to pay Sky.
Okay. Are they what? They're going to take the MP3 off the phone, and are you going to? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
If
I
they
know.
see something worthwhile.
Believe me, mate. The copyright laws are just bonkers sometimes. I mean, you know from when we've uploaded stuff on here. Oh no, someone else owns that.
Yeah.
You can't do that, even though it's just. I don't know. There were just certain things about the whole. We'll get back to it later. Go on. Who was next?
Gasly was 6th.
Yeah, a little bit of resurgence for
in the
Alpine, like
Alpine.
I say. Yeah, Alpines are doing all right
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
moment, aren't they?
Yeah.
God, them.
Oh, when they're staying on track.
Yeah, when they on the track. Yeah.
There was a
Sixth.
huge gap between Pierre in 6th and George in 5th. George came home 24.9 seconds behind Max, and then Pierre came in 47, so almost 23, 24 seconds behind. That's quite a big
What's
gap.
happened there? That's like two pit stops nearly, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. So there's a pace thing going.
There's a big gap. Like we said, Alpine and Aston are similar sort of speeds there, and then there's a gap down to AlphaTauri and Williams and
All those other people, the bottom feeders,
yeah,
as we like to
Haas
call
and
them.
Alpha Romeo. They're all in a kind
The
of
ones that want to scrap over the last points.
the bottom of the field.
Bottom of the field, and then there's so you're saying there's like a little middle section with just Alpine and Aston Martin
yeah.
in, and then there's the top 4.
Yeah, and then so George Russell was in 5th, 24.9 seconds behind, and then Charles came in 24.6 seconds behind, but then obviously subsequently got disqualified.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have seen on social media, but the Ferrari trackside technical director, did quite an honest piece to camera about what had happened and why it happened. And he was like, our job was to set the car up as best we can. We didn't have a lot of time to set it up. The track here is really bumpy. There's a balance between the ride height and for downforce and efficiency, and not compromising. It was only a couple of millimeters. It was minuscule amounts that they were over, but the law, the way the law is written, it's either in tolerance or it's out of tolerance. If it's out of tolerance, you're disqualified. There's no in between. There's no room for discussion. It's that solid black line.
Millimeters.
And that's what happened. And they were they accepted it. They were like, "Yep, we tried it."
It's starting
Pushed our luck.
from Mercedes. They've been doing quite well. Mercedes, considering.
Yeah, that's got to be. But
That
Ferrari,
hurts.
you think about Charles Leclerc, right? He got done over again by Ferrari strategy. Why would you give the risky strategy to your number one driver that's sitting on pole? Why?
Because he's
do
not
that
your
with
number
the
one
second
driver, basically.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's another one for
So
Ferrari.
Perez gained some extra points, did he?
Well, he did because Charles got disqualified.
And so that's going to really hurt Hamilton's charge at Perez for second place.
Yeah. So he's
That's
40
gutting because
points
I genuinely don't think Perez deserves second place in the championship.
And there's some chat in the paddock at the moment about
I can hear it
how
from
do
there, mate. I can hear it in the pits there. I can
how
hear
do you
it.
measure just over there? Look,
Yeah.
how do you measure Sergio's performance? If he doesn't get, basically the statement that's going around is that if he doesn't get second place, if he doesn't secure second place, which Red Bull have never had, they've had first and third in the championships often. Sebastian Vettel and Mark Webber did it all the time. Max and Sergio did it last season, but they've never had 1-2. So if they get 1-2, then Sergio's safe. If he doesn't keep that second position, then bigger questions are going to be asked.
But he's still got the ride for next year, isn't he? Yeah, but I don't give a shit.
He's got a contract. He's got a contract with Red Bull. What that contract says, God
yeah.
knows.
Red Bull will drop you halfway through a race.
Danny Rick's
get him in the pits. Get him in the pits. Danny Rick, get in the car, quick. Get in the car. Halfway through a race.
Dancing monkey out the back, mate. Off you go.
Yeah. Having a contract Red Bull could mean selling the hats. Right. Yeah, you're in the factory.
Delivering the product. Delivering the cans to James Wells on the Williams.
What is it without? What was that I saw at the end of the race? They've got the cans, haven't they? Red Bull. Verstappen's there, and it's got like a tube, and he's.
Yeah.
Can't you just drink it? Why? I don't understand. And he was sucking it. I just looked at him and thought he looks like a little hamster. That'll
be water. That's not Red Bull. That's just a drinks bottle.
But the whole point is, is it too much for them to lift their arm up and drink out of it? Rather than, surely that takes more energy. Doesn't that take more energy? That's begging for a joke there. I know that. But it takes more energy than lifting your arm and just, doesn't it?
I think drinks bottles design is outside the remit of this podcast.
No, but it just seems weird to me. It was like this straw like this, and he was going. I thought, just take that off. Just take that off.
A lot of them have the drinks bottles with straws in them.
Just. When did we become a nation, a society of people that don't know how to drink properly? Water bottles.
You get the weirdest things in your head.
Don't you find that? Where I used to work, everybody was walking around with these water bottles, and some of them they had to hold up. They were like hamster bottles. I was like, we're not hamsters. Pour yourself a glass. We can do that. You can just drink. Anyway, it does bother me. It bothers me. There's a lot of things that bother me, and I'm going to get to them.
We've noticed.
I'm going to get to them in Pit Talk as well. I've got a few.
For one of those, if any of our
fans please make comments.
I know there's thousands of them.
Yeah.
If you want to go through,
there was 50 of them in one day.
If you want to go through the list of 61 podcasts that we've done so far, pick out all the things and make a list of all the things that annoy Wayne. That would be really useful.
Yeah, please. I need this. That it's like they're like. I just don't go. Anyway, I'm done with that bit. I'm over that now.
Not covering his face. It's not covering his face.
What do you mean?
He's on telly. He's been interviewed. How rude would it be if he's talking to somebody?
No, he wasn't being interviewed the whole time. This is when he finished the race. He was thirsty.
Yeah.
And he was, but it looked like it was straining him more to do that.
You want them to get a different water? You want them to get a different water bottle?
He looked like he was, like a McDonald's milkshake. That first, trying to get all that. Subsequently found out it's pig's fat and sugar cubes, but it's trying to get that first bit of, it looked like he was doing that. He was struggling, and I just thought, remember glasses, they were great. You just used to. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm over it.
Carlos Sainz was
third. Tell me, third. So he got a podium without having.
That's his third non-present podium because of a disqualification.
Bloody hell. There's a lot of track limits again as well, wasn't there? A lot of that.
Yeah, we said that would be an issue. But yeah, I thought Carlos did a good solid race. I think he surprised
race from a number one driver at Ferrari, dare I say.
Yeah. He was told, or Charles was told to let him pass when they were racing each other. He asked Charles didn't hold him up too much, but he was going faster than Carlos. Than Charles. Carlos was his lap times were better, his tires were better, but that's because of the strategy they put him on.
Yeah, and
they did Charles over on that. And then our friend Lando was third on the day. Second. I nearly had the predictions nailed up, didn't I? I predicted.
I don't know yet.
Norris, Hamilton.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I did predict because I was watching. I was like, that sounds awful familiar. Let me check. And
you checked as well, you sad
I
man.
checked in the middle of it.
Oh no. But then again, if I was leading, it's only a tenuous lead, I would check as well. What I was going to say was,
What?
he held on
How do you think Hamilton got on? Do you think he had a good race?
I think he had a good race. I think the ride height on the Red Bull was high, made a little bit higher to compensate for.
Yeah.
It was said so, and that phantom brake issue.
Don't know.
Because he didn't. I think Norris held on to Verstappen for quite a while after he was passed, and he was in DRS. And I thought, oh, this is promising. He's holding on to it.
Yeah.
And then he just went off again. It's like, was he just conservative? I don't know. And it wasn't a comfortable race for Verstappen, but it was a race. It's a race win.
It was nice hearing them getting wound up and passionate about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me during the break.
Yeah, they do know where they are on the track. There is no need for it.
Yeah.
And if you are really concentrating, then you can't have someone, blurting out on the radio, "What do you want for tea tonight?" Are we ordering? Max, just information. Are we ordering pizza tonight? I'm in the corner. Yeah. What did you want on your? Oh, okay, you're on the corner. Okay, but I did think, they held on, but still with DRS behind the Red Bull, still not able to do it. But then again, there was a point where I think Lando was making his car quite wide and not being able to get past.
Yeah, he was defending well.
But, and this is the point I was going to make. We've got 3 minutes to make it before we end a good race, bad race. I think there was lots of little things that held Hamilton up, which could have been the big difference between second place, the technical second place, and the race win. Even though he wouldn't have got any of them, but.
Did you see the stats on Mercedes pit times?
Oh yeah, straight away it was the pit times that cost him. He got stuck behind the clerk for about half a lap too long. There was loads of little things that contributed to what would have been the second or 2 seconds on the track. They were terrible pit stops.
Over the season so far, right? Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, and Mercedes for pit times less than 2.5 seconds, right? Red Bull is 45%, McLaren is 36%, Ferrari is 29%, right? So kind of close to what you'd expect. Red Bull nailing it, consistently.
Yeah.
Mercedes 1.6%.
Right.
That's shocking.
That is
a massive difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lost in your percentages there.
That's not a world champion team.
I know. It's like, you could see that the tyres were going on at the wrong times. Like one would go and then another. It was like, I could do better than that on some of my video games. Not that I play any of them anymore, but I remember there was a game once on the Commodore 64 called Pit Stop, and you had one guy to change all 4 tyres. You have to control him. He used to walk around, and I thought that's what it looked like. But those little things cost Hamilton the race.
Yeah. And they were trying to get the offset as well, and that didn't work out. They left it too long. They left him out. So the strategy and the pit stops really cost that. He could have been challenging more.
I don't think even when the pit stop happened, it was getting stuck behind Leclerc. He struggled to get. Norris made himself a little bit wide for a few corners or a lap or two. I can't remember exactly. Norris made his car wide, and those 2 terrible pit stops. That would have been it.
Yeah,
2 seconds.
And the timing of the pit stops as well.
Yeah, I think our friend's up there. We haven't heard from him for a while.
Have we not?
Like a buried up a drain pipe.
I love that man. I love that man.
Well done, Murray.
I'm sure he's up there with all the greats up there. One day I'll make some more of them. All the greats. Senna's up there. I'll find some. I should do that. I will do that one day. More Murrays.
All this time that you've got in your hands.
No, but
what
now
do you do? How do you fill your day?
I'm time rich, energy poor. Energy poor, my friend. Energy poor. Okay, so I think we've done
Cost of living.
cost of living, energy crisis. I'm going through my own personal energy crisis. We've done good race, bad race. So why don't we crack on with pit talk, eh? Pit talk. Yay! Okay, so what's going on? Tell me about these planks. Tell me about these planks. When were they introduced? When was it? They've always been there, haven't they? We've talked about these before, these planks.
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Because that's how interesting this podcast is. If you're still with us.
Interestingly, they're not made of wood.
They're not made of wood.
No, they're not. They're resin. And they're molded resin to a certain thickness, and then they're screwed onto the floor. So they've got some play in them, some ply in them, but they do form a big rigid part of the.
They've not always been resin, though, have they?
No,
no. Hence the name plank. Is it technically incorrect calling them a plank then? Because can only wood be a plank?
I've got no idea. Out of the remit of this podcast, I think.
It's not out of the remit, but we could do this right now. The word plank, is it synonymous just with wood? I'm going to say.
I don't know how you look at that. I'll talk about Martin Brundle's been saying.
I'm surprised that man hasn't got himself in trouble, you know. Plank, a long thin piece of timber. Cover with planks.
He comes out with some valid points at times, does Martin?
Oh, he does. He's got a lot of
So his point was that if two of the cars on the podium or in the top 5 that were randomly selected were out of spec because of car setup, on an item like the ride height, that is going to be across the other car as well. So why weren't they inspected? Why wasn't the rest of the grid inspected when if the specification is so critical that if you fail it, you get disqualified. There's no room for disagreement. If it's that critical, then why wasn't it applied across the board when they were found to be out with tolerance?
And more importantly, if they found, surely if you find a couple, you go, let's do all of them. Exactly. And then if they were all out of spec,
or at least the other cars in the same team.
Yeah,
you know, because ride height is it's not a personal choice; it's a car design choice. You know, both of them are the Red Bulls are set up differently because Max and Checo have different drive styles, but they both have the same ride height.
Yeah,
the ride height is the car design, not the driver's choice.
It seems very unfortunate. And if they found like half the grid had experienced this, would it be worth imposing the penalty? Because it's then that points to a different problem, doesn't it? That points to the track.
It's the issue. Yeah, it's the track. Is it is the wear experienced higher than normal, given the ride height? If the ride height is always 5 mil, is the bouncing of the track, is that adding to the wear on it? Is that outside the tolerance? Because there's two sides to it. There's two parts.
It does seem a little bit like out of the blue to a certain extent. I mean, surely. How much was it? Was it literally millimeters?
Yeah.
And they
cars
actually
get scrutinized all the time.
But they actually admitted that it would have made no difference to the performance.
No.
What?
It's
no,
the rules, isn't it?
Oh, okay. If it made no difference, it just seems them's the rules. But it just seems, I don't know.
Well, you've got to have a balance, haven't you?
If it was like 10 millimeters,
there's got to be a maximum ride height, and there's got to be a minimum ride height.
Yeah, but you could have it between the distances, couldn't you? You could go between this and this. It's a minimum ride height.
But then there's got to be a base minimum level. You can't have the car just scraping along the floor the whole time.
That's what happened to my van the other week.
Well.
Yeah, that's what happened to my van the other week. The exhaust decided it didn't want to be part of the car anymore. Oh, yeah. Anyway, no one come and disqualified me from life. Well, I think the race has run for me. I think I'm the Logan Sargent.
I would say that, mate.
The fact that you've just insulted Logan. Don't beat up, mate. It's not that bad, is it?
Logan Sargent's a decent driver, you know.
He's a good driver. He's a good driver.
He's still got possibilities.
He's still got possibilities as a young man. Whereas me, just for any podcast listeners who are interested, as a noun, plank is just for timber. There you go. As a verb, it's that silly exercise you do, which no one can do for more than 10 seconds. Except me, obviously, the plank. And informally, put or set down something forcefully. Ned planked the glass in front of him. No, that's not right. It's plonked.
No,
I've never had someone plank a drink in front of me. Have you?
Plank is now, plonked is past tense of planked.
Okay, so what else happened in the race we need to talk about in Pit Talk? What else? What else is news? There's not a lot, is there? Because the race is only just happened.
Not really. Yeah, and there was no. What did you think of the coverage? Right, on the coverage.
No Naomi Schiff. I think no Naomi Schiff.
No, but there was Jamie Chadwick was there.
Yeah.
She was covering the Formula Academy.
Danica Patrick was there.
Academy.
Your favourite
Danica Patrick was there. And during
I can't speak for Channel 4 because I never watched it. Only rarely do I watch the Channel 4 coverage. So
yeah,
it's just
there was definitely I'd never heard the scrutineers being mentioned before, and Martin Brundle pointed out one of the scrutineers on the grid walk, and he said, "Oh, he's very private, doesn't like talking, blah blah blah." And then
so he's put a camera in his face.
Yeah, and then the big story coming out of the race was the scrutineers and the checking afterwards and disqualifications because of failure of scrutineering. That's one for your tinfoil hat, mate.
What, you think this was all predetermined? Hey, tinfoil hat time.
I never said that.
That season's over. There's no more.
It is.
It's over. For start, I still enjoy the cool down room. I think that should be a little bit more. It's like you get 2 minutes of that, and that's just television gold. I don't know why they do it, and even the commentators go, "Let's just listen. Let's listen."
Yeah,
and it's gone, and it's like, why don't they just leave the camera on in there for 5 minutes and let them talk? Let them tell us how it was for them inside the car. They're literally telling us what it was like, what happened to each other, because they don't know. And then they're watching things on the telly going, "Oh, look, he's bumped into him."
Where did the other drivers go?
They go straight to that silly little pen, didn't they? They herd them in.
No, they can't. No, when you see them doing the interviews, they've cooled down a bit. They've done what they do in the cool down room. They have a glass of water. They sort the hair out. They take the helmets off, all that kind of stuff. There's got to be a room like that for them. They can't walk back to the paddock, to their pit wall, hand over the stuff to the trainers, and then come back. There's got to be a room like that. That would be good TV to see.
It would be good TV. We could listen to what all the products have to say. And then have people running around behind them with like little tape recorders. Oh, don't say. Can we just get over another thing here? A plethora of new hat designs. Again.
Plethora.
Anyway.
Plethora. A lot.
Planked. The Ned planked the.
Somebody planked a hat on your head. One of the plethora.
More hat designs. Why? Stop doing it. Right, now, can we just get right?
What do you think of the helmet designs?
I'm going to go into this, right? There was a big thing at the beginning of the season, wasn't it? It was like, we can't tell the difference between the cars because one of their cost-cutting exercises, right, was the paint thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They've kind of thrown that out the window, haven't they?
But that was weight related. Oh yeah, especially in Austin where they all put stars and stripes on the car.
It's ridiculous. It's like, don't do this kind of, we're cost cutting, we're not going to use so much paint.
and
then
environmental impact of having a new helmet every week.
Every week, a new helmet. Oh, I've got a little piggy design because I like pigs. Stop it, okay? Stick to one helmet. One, I can identify who the driver is, okay? Two, stick to the same goddamn livery. That's it. You want to cuss cots? You want to cuss cots or even cut costs?
You're doing good speaking today, aren't you?
I don't know what it must be. I'm not even drinking. This is tea. There's nothing in that. Daddy cool.
Daddy cool.
There you go. All podcast listeners listen to me drink my tea. It's just the virtue signalling of cutting costs. I nearly did it again. And then they just do this. New hat designs every week. New liveries every week. New helmet designs every week. Stop. You want to cut costs? That's it. That's the last time I'm saying it. Stop this waste. That's a waste, isn't it? Yeah, I know.
It is a waste. What do you think of the fans booing Max during the podium?
I don't like people being booed. I just don't. I don't think it's a bit childish, really. Boo! The person who I support didn't win. Boo! Oh, grow up. And it's not even about, even if you don't like him, he's won the race. What's booing going to get you? He's not going to go, oh great, I'll oh right, they're all booing. I'll give you. You can win. It's ridiculous. But I'm not a fan. I think sports fans, when they do that, they're childish anyway. You boo. Unless he's done something horrendous like murdered a baby or something like that, then boo him. But you know.
Did you hear what Max said about it?
Go on. It was lovely. He likes to say the word lovely.
No. He said, let me get the words. Where are we?
Well, this is all right, podcast listeners.
That's great content.
Great content. If you're still here, one of you is still here. One person. Please leave a comment in the comments if you're on YouTube, or drop us an email f1show, thething1show@gmail.com. Send us a comment. Just say I was there while I was listening to Brendan Google something. Please, someone must still be listening. Put a comment in the comments below if you're still listening at this point of the podcast. If not, if we get no comments, we'll just give up, mate. We'll start the podcast.
Oh, yeah?
We'll look at the average time, 7 minutes, and then we'll just chat about our lives and not talk about Formula 1 at all. I mean, you know, Naomi Schiff. We'll talk about Naomi Schiff. Well, where was she this weekend?
They rotate around who the commentators are, who the pundits are.
Yeah, wasn't impressed with the pundits this week. I like Danica Patrick. I like JB. You like Jensen Button?
I like Jamie Chadwick. I think she brings a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Big eyebrows, though.
Big eyebrows. She did. Yeah. Go on.
Verstappen said when asked if the booing was annoying, he says, "No. In the end, I'm the one who takes home the silverware, so it's all fine by me." And he said, well, what about next week? Is it going to be even more hostile because it's in Mexico? And he said, well, it's just a week later and I'm still going to be bringing the trophy home. So
he's not going to be moving over for the little Perez, is he?
Nope. Let Sergio have a home win, Max.
Yeah, Sergio's not going to get that anyway. He's not good enough.
No.
He's not going to beat a Mercedes.
So
the other thing, while I'm moaning, this is why we should do the podcast earlier, because I get a lot of moaning done. There was a plethora, am I using the right word? Of drivers snitching on other drivers about track limits.
Yeah, there's always that though, isn't there?
I've not heard it that much recently. I can hear Perez moaning. They're all up to it. When they're driving behind someone, it's like, let the race stewards do that. There are cameras everywhere, on the helmets, on top of the cars, under the cars, in the cockpit, in the driver's butt cheeks. There's cameras everywhere. I'm sure they'll pick that up. You don't need drivers doing that. That's not good. That's not good.
There's a limited number of people monitoring track limits. The stewards and stuff like that. Yeah. I think there's only 4 stewards. There's race control. There's more people in race control, but there's 4 stewards, and the stewards are the ones that race control can highlight issues to the stewards, but stewards are the ones that either dish out penalties or take no further action. Race control don't do that. So the stewards are the ones that make the decision. I think there's only 4 of them every week.
But they know when someone's gone over track limits, don't they?
Not all the time, but they do when somebody says, "Oh, Russell's gone over the line again." You know, they can.
I don't buy it. They must know every time.
No, they don't. But that's what they're saying. That's why they need to bring in technology to make it more fair. Because if you get away with it, and then I see you getting away with it again, and I say, well, that's 3 times he's been over, and then the stewards retrospectively look at you cornering that corner, and yes, you've gone over 3 times, and boom, you get a flag or whatever, then is that fair?
I don't like that snitching bit. Doesn't make me.
No.
Surely, when you watch the race back and you hear, let's say you're at home, you're George Russell, feet up, you're watching it back, and you hear like Perez going, it's not going to make for a comfortable kind of friendship with your fellow drivers.
But mate, they've been like that for years, and that's nothing new, is it?
I don't remember.
They're not. They're different people when they're on the track. Come on. It's not normal for the grid to be all friends, is it?
Yeah, I don't know. Don't like it. But I don't like people like that anyway. Who likes that? Anyway, surely they've got the technology. I can't drive down the road there without getting caught by that bloody speed camera down there.
Why can't they have Hawkeye or something like that?
I don't know.
That they've got in the tennis. I know that looks.
I'm stuck between this view, one way or the other. Either don't have any of it and let them all just bitch about track limits all week, and then let the stewards go, well, if I didn't see it, like if the ref doesn't see it, they're fine. Or have them completely monitored from the moment the product gets in the car and the product drives around the track. I mean, I don't know what you want to do.
By the way, just for clarity, it's the driver that's in the car, and the driver and the car and the branding and the verb and the speaking is all part of the product.
It's all part of the product. I'm out of tea now. Talking about product, where's your mug? Do we have merch?
Oh,
go get it.
Is that
Go get it.
All right. Pause.
Well, just go quick. I'll just talk to them. I'll just. Do you know what? He just exceeded track limits. Everybody, he's left the room and he's exceeded track limits. Course director, I've noticed Brendan leaving track limits. He's going to get some product. One day it will be our merch. He's taking his time. Where's he gone? So, where's the next race, people? Let's have a look. The next race is in. It's in America, isn't it? I should know this. This is a Formula One podcast. F1. Let's have a look. Race results. Mexico. The Americas. Okay, he's back now. I thought he's back there. He's back. Look at that. Product, guys. If you want some of this product, get in contact with us. We will sort this out.
This is available from our marketing department. He's got a hat. Look at that there from one show. I haven't got one of those. My birthday coming up. No. In April. Then again. In April. I kind of didn't get you anything, so I can't really say or expect anything. My son got me that.
Yeah, I mean, this could be. Look, guys. If you want this product, for the love of God, mention us. Say something in the comments. Look at that. Look at that.
Let's make it go viral.
It's a magic mug that vanishes. That's cool. It's almost daddy cool. Look at this. The F1 Show Mug Club. You could be part of the Mug Club. If you want to be part of the Mug Club, drop us a comment. That's all we asked.
Yeah.
Just say hi. Even if you think we're rubbish, just say, I would never want that product. And go, okay, fine.
Have we had any comments recently?
We had a thank you from the young gentleman who asked about the tired egg.
All right, brilliant. So he's been listening. Well done.
He listened all the way through to our kind of non-answer. And yeah. So, shall we?
That was quite a good answer.
It was a great answer. I was very impressed. We went deep when it came to that.
Thanks.
Shall we do?
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Hey, does anybody? I still like that joke. I know it's old, but I still like it.
I think it's a great joke.
It still works. Should we go to predictions?
I mean, it's a riot. Riot.
Prediction. Okie dokie, let's do the predictions, people. Oh. Right. So while Brendan's telling us about the Mexico track, which I love that Mexico track.
Yes.
I love that.
Autodromo
stadium.
Hermanos Rodriguez.
Okay.
This weekend it will be the Formula One Gran Premio de la Ciudad de Mexico 2023.
Should we? Is Helmut Marko into that one?
The first Grand Prix was 1963.
Is he going to that one? Would he be there? I don't think he's going to be there on that one. Do you? What do you reckon?
I don't think he's going to be allowed into the country. Oh,
yeah. He's probably saying to the TV crews, "Please do not put the camera on me. You know, you'll hear some booze. If you want to hear booze, get Helmut Marko on the podium to receive a." Oh, that would be just genius.
Could you imagine?
The booze on that would be.
Can we spam Red Bull? Suggestions for who to collect a trophy this
Suggestions for, unfortunately, Verstappen's inevitable win. Please, can he come on the podium to?
All right. So,
am I sharing the screen there?
4.3 kilometers long. There's going to be 71 laps, which will give us a race distance of 305.354 kilometers. The lap record is 1 minute 17.774 seconds, held by.
I'm going to say Hamilton.
Bottas.
Blimey, that's some time ago, isn't it? Eh? All those years ago. Pre-mullet. The pre-mulleted Bottas. That was a man who was comfortable with his impending baldness. Pre-mullet, everything.
Yeah, 2021.
Oh, you're a tired boy today. Right, let's share the screen. Here we go. This is it now. We're at the back end of the season. Oh, he says burping.
Nice.
I don't want this toolbar. I want this toolbar out of the way. Why do I want that there? I don't want it in the screenshot. It never used to be like that. Why do they change things all the time?
Because you're old and cranky and it's just to annoy you.
No, I don't want that. I want this one. I am old and cranky. So, oh, I get it. Okay. So I've got to choose from here now. I want to draw. Okay, there. I'm drawing. But I don't want to see. Oh, whatever.
All right, are we done?
Okay, let's go.
So a little bit more information about the track for this weekend. Pirelli have announced that the hard tyre will be the famous C3, the medium will be the C4, and the soft will be the C5. That's partly down to the fact that we are at altitude.
Yeah.
It's going to be the cars are going to be set up with a high downforce setup. There's low tire degradation. It's partly because of the altitude, the track surface, the Red Bulls and the Red Bull Honda engine.
Yeah.
It does quite well in the low altitude, in the high altitude, low oxygen environment.
Oh, really?
Yep, the Ferrari are normally struggle. Mercedes tends to do well here as well.
Right.
So, you know, those engines, obviously McLaren will do well. We should do well here. And it's powerful DRS due to the big long straight that they've got.
Are you going to tell me it's
there is?
What do we reckon? A boring race?
What?
Is it boring race?
2 DRS areas.
Okay. Let's do the points then. Come on. Let's do this. Let's do you first. Right, okay. Who got pole? Max, yeah? Was pole Max? No, he wasn't, was he?
No,
Leclerc.
it was Charles Leclerc was pole.
Ah, so nothing there. Fastest lap?
Yuki.
Yuki Tsunoda. So no George, okay. Fastest lap time?
Was 1 minute 38.139.
Oh, then you get the point there. It's disappointing. It's got the word point in disappointing.
That's
Right, okay.
disappointing for you.
Yes, that's why I said it. So 2 points for Verstappen. And how many points for Norris? 2.
That one. He was. Oh yeah, he was second. Yeah. Hey.
That's not good. That is not good. Okay, Hamilton, nothing. Piastri, nothing.
Disqualified. Nothing.
What did Sainz come?
Sainz was third.
Oh, we get a point for him. Russell,
Fifth.
point for him. Leclerc, nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nada. Perez,
Fourth.
point for him. Alonso, nothing. And
Nothing.
Ricardo, a plastic.
15th.
15th. That's not good for him. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points to added to 166, which is 174 now. Okay, just remember that because we're going to go on to the next sheet. 174. Okay. Let's add up my points, which is nowhere near as good. So nada, nada, nada. 2 for that man there. Thank God. Where did Piastri come? Nothing. 1. Nothing for the goat.
Piastri crashed out.
Yeah. Where did Leclerc come? He was out,
Leclerc
wasn't he?
was qualified. Yeah.
No, I covered you off there with Russell. And Perez, where did he come?
Perez was 4th.
1 for him. Alonso, nothing. Sainz,
Sainz was 3rd.
yeah, he was further up the 9th. And Tsunoda, he got a point, didn't he?
8th. Yeah, he was 8th.
Oh, I got a point for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So that would. You could have taken the race off, and we would have been level pegging. You could have scored nothing.
I'm not taking that as a suggestion.
You could have put Logan Sargent to win. You could literally do that. Okay, so that's the points from the last race. A bit disappointing for. Remember your number there. It's 164. Okay. Okay, let's shut that. I think I've got to stop sharing. I'll stop sharing, and now I have to do a bit of jigging with pokery. Okay. So let's get to the predictions page here. And here. Now we have to wait 10 seconds for Word to open. I don't know why. It bounces around in the bar up here. And then finally it'll open. And come on. Come on. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Let's do this. Push this button here. I hope the podcast listeners are really enjoying me guiding them through what is effectively a dull operation of opening a Word document. Okay.
Yeah.
They must be loving it. That's why they're here at this late time. If you're still here, put another comment to say I'm still here. Kill me now. Okay. So let's share that screen and let's do this predictions now. Here we go. You can go first, sir, because you're winning. Oh, first of all,
No, you go first. I always go first.
Oh, gosh.
Then you copy me.
All right, okay. Let's
Who
get
was that comment?
What comment? What was your point? 1,
Gentlemen.
7, 4. That's you. I'm on 166. Okay, 166. 8 points difference. I could do it. I could do this. Okay, so let's take that off. Okay, I'm going to go first. What was the fastest lap time? Again, 117.
The lap record is 117.774.
I'm going to go Ricardo for the fastest lap then.
All right, yeah.
Might as well. If he's going to 117.444, is it?
Fastest lap last year was Russell, and that was a time of 120.1543.
Oh, so last. All right, 120. 120. I'm gonna go 120.738. There we go. Ricardo, spelled correctly. It's Ricciardo, isn't it? Apparently. Yeah. Never mind. I'm sure he'll get over it when he listens to the podcast, because he'd still be listening now, wouldn't he? Okay, so who am I going to go for win? Do I just play it safe? Yeah, I'm going to have to, because I don't think Verstappen gives a flying monkey about Perez anymore, does he? Shows his true character.
Yeah.
Why put Perez on the podium though? I actually just don't think he's even good enough for the podium now. I just don't know what's happened to him. It feels like last year you'd have done that as an automatic, really, wouldn't you? Or that. But now I just think the GOAT. I'm going to go for the GOAT. It's going to want revenge. Revenge. It's not revenge, is it? It's just there. Put him there. Let's get Norris third again. We're going to have a Norris third. I'm going to go Piastri fourth. Linus down, the boys. Hopefully Piastri will stay out of trouble. Sainz, number 1 Ferrari. And splitting these two Ferraris, we're going to have Russell.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, there we go. That's my Perez, a disappointing 8th. He's gonna make up some excuse about something. Alonso back with a vengeance in this top 10, but still.
Really?
Okay, you're right. I'm gonna make him 10th, and I'm gonna stick Gasly ahead of him there. So my top 10 is Verstappen first, the GOAT second, Norris third, Piastri fourth, Carlos Sainz fifth. There's a helicopter outside. I can hear it.
Oh, yeah?
There's a large.
Is that unusual for you?
Is that a helicopter? Don't know what that is, but anyway, where are we getting? If we want to stop this noise disturbance.
I can't hear it.
I could hear it. You'll hear it on the podcast if you listen this far. I don't know if you will. Where did we get to? We've got 5 minutes to get to your predictions, haven't we? Verstappen first. Yeah. Hamilton second. Norris third. Piastri fourth. Carlos Sainz fifth. Russell sixth. Leclerc seventh. Perez eighth. Gasly ninth. And Alonso 10th. Okay. Wow. So, who you got for pole? You could just take some risks, couldn't you?
That's a good suggestion, but no, I'm going to carry on with my modus operandi.
Max?
I think, no, I think Charles. No, in fact, no.
It's only 4 minutes, mate. Let's just,
Piastri. Piastri
Wow.
on pole.
Wow. That is a risk, really, isn't it?
Fastest lap will go to.
Have I spelled Piastri wrong? Have I put pastry? Can we call him pastry? I think I might do.
Yeah,
Might
sure.
Go on.
I
My
think
little
Danny Rick for fastest lap.
Daddy Rick. I'll put Rick.
Yeah. And I'm going to do 1 minute
Oh, Christ.
19.5.
You think they're going to go faster? 1.19. Just 0.5?
0.526. There you go.
2.6, of course, 2.6. Yeah, missed that out, didn't you?
Here's why.
Okay, who's going to win this race, sir?
Max Verstappen.
There you go. Who's going to come
Max,
second?
then George.
I thought you were going to say Max
George.
Verstappen second. George Russell.
And then, yeah. And then Sergio.
Look at you, first name terms. Is it Sergio, his first name, or is it Checo? What's his first name, for crying out loud?
Sergio.
Where's Checo then?
His
What's that?
nickname's Checo.
Okay.
Yeah, it's his nickname.
I thought his nickname was
reckon-
Captain Slow. Anyway.
Oscar.
Oh,
Piastri.
Pastry, yeah. Pastry in
Yeah,
fourth.
Pastry. Science.
Oh, you're just going to cover mine. I
3%
see
as well.
what's going on here.
No.
That's my tactic.
Hamilton.
Hamilton. Yep.
Norris.
Nice there. Boom.
Leclerc.
Oh, yeah, you forgot that fella, didn't you? Number 2 Ferrari driver. This is
Alonso, and then Albon.
Albon. That's a good call, actually. Those Williams, well, especially Albon, very consistent. So you've got Verstappen first, Russell second, Checo third, Danish Piastri fourth, Carlos Sainz.
Australian.
Australian pastry. Lewis Hamilton sixth, Norris seventh, Leclerc eighth, Alonso ninth, and Alex the Catman Albon 10th. There we go. Took a screenshot already. Look at that. I'm that on it.
You're on it like a car hood.
Like a car hood. I don't think it took.
Yeah, it doesn't make as much sense if you say it for an American audience. You're
No,
on
it
like a
doesn't,
car
does
bonnet
it?
for the Brits.
Yeah. Did it save it?
No.
Did I get a what? There it is. Okay. Just making sure before I
Okay.
before exit. Okay. Let's stop sharing.
Brilliant.
That's it, mate. Isn't it, really? That's the end of the F1 Show podcast. I've been the host of the most, Wayne. This has been Brendan, the man in the pits with the tits. And if you get to the very end of this, please leave a comment. Leave the word bananas in the comment. That's it. Then we'll know for sure you've got to the end. In comments
And you don't
on
need
YouTube.
to admit it to anyone else.
Yeah. Your identity will be safe with us because
Nobody else will know what it's
nobody
about.
else will know because no one watches us. Watches us.
Just say bananas.
And they'll just see the word bananas. They'll just think you've just made a mistake, really.
Or it's your in-depth analysis and
on the
review.
if you want some of the merch, though, I'm sure we could work
Touch
out
up
somehow.
the department onto it.
The marketing department over Brendan's side can sort that out. I want some of the merch. So get in contact with me. I want a hat and a mug. I definitely want a mug. I definitely want that. I'm well gel. That's what the
All on his own. All
I'm-
on his own.
I'm feeling jelly. That's what the young people say. Feeling jelly.
Jelly like a welly. Anyway, luego, amigo.
Okay, everybody. See you later, everybody. Bye.
See ya.